Welcome to another episode of Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. I am your host, Lionel McDonald. So let's put a pretty little bow on the month of February. It's Black History Month, shortest month of the year. Yeah, we can get into that whole episode if we wanted to, but we're going to chop it up a little bit. Took a little time to digest and just put together some thoughts or let just things settle, but this was a very, very interesting All-Star weekend that happened about 10, 11 days ago. So we're going to kind of get into it a little bit, talk about it, to see what happened. So, first of all, I think we're going to talk about certain elements of All-Star weekend. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the releases and just the overall energy of what the All-Star game and where it's at. It's great to see my Knicks. We had two starters available more than any other team in the NBA. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson both were starters for the East team. Now let's talk about the format. The format was a little wonky. Teams of like 8. We had the young guns, we had the OGs, we had obviously the I think the most interesting team was the world team, and then the rising stars team. So they played this format was like a tournament. It was first to 40, and the young guys got a chance to play on Sunday because they had played already in their own little tournament on Saturday, Super Saturday, and it was interesting. I don't know if it was great basketball. And I think we got the matchup we wanted. We wanted the OGs against the world. And the world team, I love the world team. You had, the likes of Shea Gilders-Alexander from Canada. You had my hometown, as I am at Studio 185 in downtown Toronto. Shooter and, what's the other? It's the Crossroads here. Church. Just off the center of the universe, right at Yonge and Dundas. So we had Shea, we had Luka, we had obviously the Joker, we had Giannis. So it's an amazing team. But then you had the OGs led by Steph Curry. LeBron would have been on this team, but I'm wearing a LeBron shirt. But LeBron sat out, and I think there's rumblings that LeBron was protesting for one thing or another, or he just wasn't healthy. But I think we got the matchup we did. We just didn't get enough basketball with these guys on the floor. They that won their respective matchups against the young guns and then the rising, the up and comers. So like Jalen Brunson and others were watching from the sidelines during this very, very important game. So I think if we just think about what people thought and the initial reaction is that the All-Star game sucked. All-Star Saturday sucked. We'll get into that in a second. So what's wrong with the All-Star game? Why isn't it entertaining, and what do we do differently to make it work? We just didn't get enough time with the best players that we wanted to see. And they ran a stat. Like overall, there was like 33 minutes of game time, but talking, commercials, and other theatrics was 2.5 hours. So that's not enough time of basketball. And there's not a lot of defense, and no one really wants to get hurt, and rightfully so. But like the compete level of the game is totally changed. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird had a level of compete, and they wanted to beat each other, even if it was an All-Star game, because it was a rarity that they would play at this high level with this many elite players. So they wanted to win. The mantle got passed to Jordan. The mantle then got passed from Jordan to Kobe. And Kobe carried it for 20 years. Kobe retired and unfortunately has already passed away way too early. Don't need to draw that out. But ever since Kobe left the league, the All-Star game has not been the same. There's not been the same energy, the same focus, the same desire to win. So what do? We got to change it. It's got to be something different. I think we got to go back to straight up Eastern Conference, Western Conference. And I don't think it's money that's going to make these guys want to play. I think you got to put something on the line. And this is my theory. This is what Lionel McDonald will tell you what could change the All-Star game. And I've told people, I'm just like, Lionel, you might be onto something. I think you got to say in similar to other sports, the winner of the All-Star game gets home court advantage during the NBA final. Now that doesn't mean something to everyone, but the contenders, if you're on Denver, you're on OKC, you're on the Lakers, you're on the Knicks, you're on the Cavs, you're on definitely the Celtics. That means something. You're gonna ball out, and if these other guys that are on mid to lower ranking of their respective conferences may not mean anything, but sure as hell, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to say, "You guys need to ball." Trae Young, you need to ball. You ain't in the playoffs. I don't give a shit. You need to ball and get us home court advantage for whoever one of us makes the final. That, I think, can help bring some energy back to the game. So that's All-Star, the game. The weekend, 3-point contest, I think it was a little lackluster than it has been. We didn't have the contest plus like the shootout. I think it was great energy last year to have Sabrina do a shootout against Steph Curry. Sabrina Ionescu that plays on the New York Liberty shooting out against Steph Curry. And it came down right to the final ball that Steph Curry won. It was great energy. We thought we'd hopefully get a 2-on-2 this year. Dame and Caitlin Clark against Sabrina and Curry. That didn't materialize. Caitlin Clark didn't want any part of it. Not saying it's her fault, but that wasn't the plan, and I think it was okay. Skills competition, it's kind of one of those things. It's there, it's a filler, but it didn't really incite. There were some moments in the Rising Star game, but we could talk about the dunk contest, and the dunk contest swung and missed again. Good news is Mac McClung, he's in the G League as part of Orlando's affiliate. He won the dunk contest again for the third year in a row. He had some competition, but it wasn't the same as we've seen in previous years. And the challenge is now, hey, we got a G League player now winning the dunk contest. What the heck? Where are the stars? Where, again, this goes back to the game. The mantle that we had, Dr. J, to Michael Jordan, to Kobe Bryant, to so many other stars wanting to be in the dunk contest, not just for their name, but it was a level of pride to showcase your skills and your brand. People are not interested in that. It's like fringe players are trying to get into the dunk contest to kind of build a name, like McClung has over recent years. So we got to do something to fix it. We need the Giannis's. We need players like that to be in the dunk. Like Kobe, Vince have been in the. Where's LeBron? Like LeBron's now year 21. He ain't going to be in the dunk contest at this point, but he should have been in it at some point. We probably should have had Carmelo in it. Though he's maybe not the guy that's going to win it. But you never know. And I think it's just good for the league when you have your top players or some of your top players in the dunk contest to give the dunk contest a minute. These guys would rather sit on the sidelines with their cell phone, talking to their friends on FaceTime and doing all this other nonsense, and instead of actually being in the contest. So the energy with the contest has got to change, and we got to demand that some of the great players in the league get in the contest. And we've had some of them. Like we've had all-stars like, DeMar DeRozan being in the contest. We've had some of these guys be in. We've seen Blake Griffin that's been an all-star over the years, but that has kind of faded in the last 6 to 8 years that these top-level players don't want to be in the contest. So it isn't going to get any better if we don't. And ultimately, the negativity we keep talking about the dunk contest, maybe we should cancel it. Maybe we should just see G League guys because no star wants to be in it. Let's see the G League guys. Let's have, the guys that are slam dunk professionals. Like there's like a professional dunk league. Bring them to the slam dunk contest and just make it a showcase. If we don't want to get the NBA players in it, let's just see some great dunks. I think that's what the product we want to see. We would just love to see it if it was our stars. Look at what the dunk contest did for Jordan and Vince Carter, most notably, changed the world. He made fans out of the Toronto Raptors and fans out of his simply by his 2001 performance in LA. So something we got to look at and something we got to look at changing because this current format is not flying. So what else happened? Lots of activation, crazy drops, and maybe we'll just go to that right now before we wrap up with what people wore on court because I think there was lots to talk about. All-Star releases was crazy from, there was a huge venue down there and there was Nike in partnership with Foot Locker had some early drops, but what dropped that weekend? Holy, we haven't seen anything like it. This is way bigger than Indy, and Indy was cool, way bigger than, what Foot Locker and Jordan Brand did in Salt Lake City the year prior. Hopefully LA is even better than this, but maybe it won't be. But we'll remember that you should have been at this All-Star game if you love sneakers because this one was crazy. So we had first Kobe's are now back on the market. You can actually get them for retail in stores, whether you go through an app or you got to line up, like they're available. Kobe Pro-Tro All-Star 2.0. It's like a ivory white out there, totally fire. There was a new Reebok one. It was called the Engine or Eugene A. It's all silver. New model. Don't know a ton about it, but that was out there this weekend. We had obviously the huge excitement was the limited drop of the Jordan 1 band, aka Bread. It was only available in 23 stores, so there was a couple stores in the market in the Bay Area that did have it. So the lineups and all of the things, and you try to hit on these apps from Europe or Canada, like it was crazy. The energy, people wanted it, couldn't get your hands on it. Some got W's, some are paying resale. It's like $500 US, but that was the big one on the Saturday. So that launched on Valentine's Day. The next day, going into the long weekend, President's Day for the U.S. and Family Day for Canada. Black toe ones, there's tons of them out there. People did cop. Pairs still out there. I think pairs will be out there for a while. There's some negative feedback about that shoe. Oh, I don't like the Air Jordan. I want the wings. Like, can never make everyone happy. So, but that's what the OG one had, which was the Air Jordan on the side. So, damned if you do and damned if you don't. What else did we have? We had AE1 low, the champagne. That one is fire. I like that, and the baby blue that's come out. It came out at holiday, but that one is crazy. New Balance 1000. The collaborations with Brookwood. That one was dope. KD4 scoring title came out that weekend. Kai Speed bag work from Anta was also out. We still got a little more spill of the book one, the Forrest Gump that came out again that weekend. Adidas's Crazy 2 All-Star. So Kobe's shoe that he wore in the dunk contest, that was out, the white and yellow. And then all these re-releases, like, oh my gosh, we got more metallic fives. We got more Black Hats were, secretly saved and then pulled out. And then we got the early stuff. Oh my gosh, they kill us with the early stuff. So there were some unions that were in the marketplace in the Bay Area. They dropped early, and it was supposed to launch 2/21, but they launched it during All-Star Weekend. Galaxy foam posits. So here, this is my favorite foam posit. This one here. This launched years ago. This actually launched last year, the Royal ones. And then also the copper ones came out. And then they're doing a few other ones that will launch this year. Now, they do retail for a lot, but there was like a mystique about the Galaxy foam posits. And then maybe next year they'll do the mirror foam posits that launched in the 2015 All-Star game in New York. But are foam posits back? I see a lot of them selling at retail or a little bit above, or even in some cases the copper when they started to sell down. I think sizes got them below retail. But I think there's some energy. The DC cats love this. Toronto cats love foam posits. There's definitely a contingent for it, but I don't know if foam posits are back, but it's great to see this on the marketplace. My boy Sky Zoo that I got a chance to meet last week. He is a huge Penny person. You can see on the logo on the back of the shoe. This one was crazy. First person I saw wear wasn't even Penny. It was Mike Bibby and Miles Simons from Miles Simon from University of Arizona in that season where they made a run in the Final Four. I want to say it was like the 95 or 96 season. They wore this. I saw this first, and then I saw it on Penny. So crazy to see foam posits back in the marketplace, but it's a good energy. Like Nike is bringing the heat in the last couple of years, specifically this year with Jordan Brand. We got some Penny. These are heavy, way heavier than Procho 6s or Procho 5s, but there's a love for this. Like on a rainy day like we have here in Toronto, this is like a boot. This can get it done for you. There's a Volt one coming out later this year amongst some other colors, so definitely some love for foam posit out. But again, Galaxy foam posit, very limited way. Like retail right now, it is crazy. Like I've seen it $8, $9, $1,000 Canadian. So we're talking like 6, 7, 800 US. Insane to get your hands on this Galaxy foam posit. Not my cup of tea, but someone want to give me a pair, I'll take it, and I would rock the hell of it. I like this one. I like the Knicks one. I like the eggplant one. Those would probably be my favorite three that I would want to wear. But I would wear a pair of Galaxy. I would wear a pair of mirrors. My boy Nick, he absolutely loves foam posits like a lot of people in the city. So there was that. We even got the flu game. Flu game 12 dropped early. Now, it's supposed to launch March 1st, and that'll be another episode we talk about the launches for March, but that one dropped early as well. So crazy to see that this is how All-Star Weekend came down. And then they went way ahead, like 2+ months ahead. It launches on May 24th, right after my birthday. So, hey, if you need to buy me a birthday present, I will take a pair of white Cement 4s. Those were out All-Star Weekend, 2.5 months early. So Nike was bringing the heat. And, hey, we didn't think Nike and Jordan Brand could turn up the heat. Think about it. On this pod, we have literally hardly talked about any brand. We're all the New Balance and Asics were all the rage. And, hey, people are still buying those. But there's so much more energy and conversation about the Jordan Brand this year because of the drops. We've had Black Cat. We've had Metallic 5s. We've had band ones, aka bread ones. We've also had black toes. Now we're talking about foam posits. Now we're talking about all the diamond turfs that have come out. DT 96 last year, and then the OG diamond turf that came out earlier this year. So Nike and Jordan Brand are cooking. We got flu game 12s still to come. We got Lucky Shorts that came on the US. It's like, that was light work. That one's not really selling. But hey, it's a 3. There's Year coming. We'll get into all the other ones that are launching in the near future, including White Cement 4s, and then obviously the really excited to see what these Rare Air collection, including 11, including a 4 that all launched later this year. So crazy heat that was dropped. So really exciting to see all of that. But there also were some shoes that were debuted this weekend. I think probably the hottest topic of conversation was definitely this one. This one here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander debuted his new shoe, the Shai 001. His first shoe that he's had with Converse. That's his own signature shoe. Now, hey, boy from Toronto getting his own signature shoe, it's a big deal. It is sleek. It looks futuristic. I'm sure it's got all the tech that is necessary to be a great ball shoe for the odds-on favorite right now to be the NBA MVP. But we'll see how it goes. Also out there, we got the A1. The A1 is Aja Wilson's got her own shoe now. That is unbelievable. Now we're from the days of Cheryl Swoops. Then we move into the era now of Brianna Stewart, and hopefully Kelsey Plum gets her own shoe with Under Armour. But then it started with Sabrina, and Sabrina's shoe's been a huge success. Asia Wilson's now got her own shoe. It looks a little Jordanish, a little Giannis-ish, a little Luka-ish, but it's her own joint. So shout out to Asia for her own shoe. And then Jaylen Brown, the 741 performance basketball shoe. It's called the Rover. He debuted at All-Star Weekend. We also, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection that is all part of what Puma has created for Melo Ball. So I think it's even if you buy all 4 of the shoes, you ultimately get the 5th shoe for free, which is the Shredder one, which it's kind of a cool novelty piece. And Shredder was the enemy or the arch rival, as we had the 4 Turtles plus Splinter. So kind of a cool idea that they've done there. Anta came with the Kai 2. Now, it looks weird. It's got like fur on it. Artists on core, but Kai is crazy right now. But the handles, the finish, the 3-ball, he's kind of now the man right now with Anthony Davis being banged up. So Kai is putting in work, but he debuted his shoe during All-Star Weekend. We also got the Dawn 7 and the Dame 10 from Adidas. So Donovan Mitchell's number 7 shoe, and then Damian Lillard got out his number 10 shoe. What the Bay? Obviously, we had to get a shoe from Steph Curry, number 12, in All-Star / Golden State colors. So that was dope to see. There's a new Foamposite-like shoe called the GT Future that was definitely shown on foot throughout the course of the weekend. There's a black and silver one, along with, I think it was on Wale had it. He was wearing it that weekend, and so some excitement about that one specifically. And it's pretty amazing that this many shoes all kind of got debuted. But hey, when you got eyes on the NBA, that's the time it's going to happen. So lots of new energy. Obviously, we had on court. There were several shoes. There was, an all-star color in Luka's shoe, an all-star color in Tatum's shoe, an all-star color in KD's shoe, an all-star color in so many others. We had, obviously, the guys that love Kobe's were wearing the Kobe All-Star. Amongst any of this, it feels like the Jordan era where guys would pull out the Jordan All-Star colorway, whether retro or the in the 30s model, with Ray Allen doing it all the time. So that's All-Star Weekend in a nutshell. Pretty amazing that all of this great stuff happened, and the energy behind the basketball brand all kind of transpired through All-Star. So that's it from Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life All-Star Recap. Lots of good things, and the energy continues to build with the Jordan brand. They are doing things along with Nike. We got My Joint, Air Max Up Tempo 95. We got OG Neon Air Max 95s. I think they got to be a surprise drop for Air Max Day on 326, but we'll have to see. But big energy from the Nike brand. They have taken the mantle back. There's no question who the top dog is. And that's it from Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. I'm out.